This sounds really terrible, but I don't really think that much about my audience when I'm writing these pieces. I don't really think I'm going to engage my audience, you know. I think what I try to do is imagine myself in the audience and be true to what would engage me. And I do music and film, and I'm doing music for a TV show right now, and that music really does need to speak directly and immediately to an audience, and the audience needs to have the same, everyone in that audience needs to have the same reaction to that music at the same time. I don't really know how to do that. I feel really uncomfortable doing that, and it's sort of like hit or miss with me in those genres, you know. But those are the places where you really do need to consider what an audience is. I think one of the things that's kind of beautiful about classical music that also kind of makes us noble is that we can create experiences where people in the audience are free to have their own reaction to it, you know. So that you can create, I look at it as being, like instead of telling people that they should cry at a particular moment, or they should laugh, or they should, they should allow themselves to be manipulated by you as a composer. What you can do is you can create the place where you give the audience feeling that it has permission to feel a certain thing, And I learned this a long time ago because I wrote this piece and I thought about it a long time. A very close friend of mine passed away, and I wanted to write a piece in her memory. And I realized as I was working on this big piece, and I realized, this person, nobody knows who this person was. She was just my friend, right? So why should anyone else care about my friend? It's not like the death of a public figure or the death of a superhero or something. It's a death of somebody that meant something to me. So I thought, I want to have a personal experience listening to this piece. And maybe my job then is to make a piece which is more sort of like an object, where people feel like they are given permission to think what they would like to think. They can know that this is what I am thinking at that moment, but I am not requiring anyone to think anything at a particular time. And that to me is a really kind of powerful freedom. So that's the relationship that I like to have with the audience. I want to imagine myself in the audience making the piece of work that I wish somebody else would make, but no one is going to make without me. Mm-hmm. So what's my perfect audience experience? That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. So what would be an example of a way compositionally that you would do that or approach that?
I have no idea how to do that. I think it really is just being honest with yourself about when you write something, about evaluating whether or not it does that for you. Mm-hmm. Is this the experience that you want? When you're writing a piece of music, you can feel this is the thing that sounds good, and this is the thing everybody does, and this is the thing that player wants to do, and this is the thing that's going to make people clap. And there are lots of other things that objectively will work. But you are open to the idea that you will come across something that you really want to do, that you are really curious about, that really satisfies you. And that's the most magical feeling as a composer, is when you work really hard and then you stumble across the thing that gets to you perfectly, to that place that no other music can get to. Because that's why we're doing it, If Beethoven, if Bach really had the power to get to every place inside of me I need to be gotten to, I wouldn't need to write any music. Mm-hmm. The only reason why I am writing music is because there's certain parts that I am trying to pay attention to that no one else is going to go to if I don't go to them. And, or else it wouldn't be worth the work, right? It would already be done, right? I could already satisfy that thing. And then I could find, another way to make a living,